Joe Rogan has just reacted to the shocking footage of Rampage Jackson's son brutally attacking a wrestler, and the fighting world is absolutely losing their minds. The viral clip shows Raja Jackson in what was meant to be a staged pro wrestling skit snapping completely out of control. Instead of going along with the routine, he body slammed his opponent, knocked him out cold, and
Joe Rogan has weighed in on a viral video involving Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson, and it's causing chaos across the fight community. The clip, which spread rapidly online, was supposed to be part of a scripted pro wrestling act. But instead of sticking to routine, Raja suddenly flipped the script, slamming his opponent to the mat, knocking him out, and following up with a series of heavy punches on the downed wrestler. The shocking turn of events has left fans and fighters stunned.
MMA legend Rampage Jackson has a son called Raja Jackson, and what I'm about to show you, in my opinion, is blatantly attempted murder, and I believe that Raja Jackson should go to jail for a very long time. I'm not talking about months, I'm not talking about a couple of years, I'm talking 30 to 40 years at least, for what I consider to be blatant attempted murder from Raja Jackson. I think that Raja Jackson, and what I'm going to show you in today's video, is going to show you everything, okay? I have every moment, every bit of context, every single thing that happened in order, okay? Even some other moments here that I'm going to show you that a lot of people haven't even seen yet about this whole situation, because everyone's only reacting to this. End of discussion. You are a dumb animal that does not belong in society. You have forfeited that right because you have proven yourself as an unevolved human. Go sit in a cage for 30 to 40 years where you fucking belong, you dumb animal. End of discussion. That is attempted murder. I am going to give you context for this whole situation, but Raja Jackson, the son of Rampage Jackson, is a dumb, unevolved animal with no understanding of thought process of anything, and he belongs in a fucking cage for the rest of I don't know how long, the next few decades at least. In my opinion, this is attempted murder, okay? We're gonna go through the context of this, which we don't even need to go through, regardless what happened, unless this guy over his shoulder just did that to him. There is no excuse for this behavior. Unless this guy over his shoulder just did exactly that to someone Raja Jackson knows or loves, or someone who is Raja Jackson, unless this guy did it to Raja Jackson before Raja did this back to him, there is zero excuse. Zero excuse.
Yo, be honest with y'all, bro, I don't see how he doesn't go to jail. I like Rampage Jackson. You guys know I think Rampage is awesome. But after looking at that footage, bro, like, they need to get a lawyer. Like, me just being dead ass. Like, he needs to get a good lawyer right now and be prepared. They're 100% going to come in and arrest him for that. I don't know what they're going to charge him with, but slamming him with the way that he did and punching him that many times, he needs to find a lawyer. I don't even know why they're still on camera talking about it, to be honest with y'all. He should stay off camera. They shouldn't talk about this shit ever again, and secure a lawyer and just sit tight, because the police are absolutely coming. There's no way they're not going to make an arrest after that, bro. There's no way. There's probably an insane amount of pressure on the local cops to do something, and that obviously wasn't in the scripted, wrestling event. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just don't see a scenario where he doesn't get arrested, bro. I just don't see it, because the police department's going to be under an insane amount of pressure to do something, because it's so viral now. It's so viral, they have to do something. I hope the guy's all right. I hope he's not like seriously injured. That's because that could really create some issues too, if he's like seriously injured. So we'll see what happens. You know, you guys know I like Rampage. I don't know his son.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back in his response, calling the incident completely unacceptable. He emphasized that there's no excuse for attacking someone who's already unconscious, noting that situations like this blur the line between staged entertainment and genuine violence. What stood out most for Rogan wasn't only Raja's actions, but but the fact that the outburst was so needless and avoidable.
In a court, from a legal proceeding, the police have not arrested him. But we already know what happened, and we've got it on video. And it's gross. And it is an assault, and it is outside of what was agreed upon in pro wrestling. And so many people have made this mistake in sport before, thinking, well, it's up to the referee. You know, whatever the referee says, but this was all part of sport. There is a piece of human psychology that works like that, but you have a police department that is in possession of this information and has not done an arrest. Why? Well, if Stu comes out and says this was all part of the spot, if he just says those words, no matter how much you're reworking reality and history, if he says those words, the police then look like fools. If Stu doesn't say those words and say, hey, this was not scripted, as a matter of fact, he's even given a confession. He's saying that he's doing this for retribution for something else that I did. You have a legal right to defend yourself. That's true. But there's a sustainable difference between defense and vengeance. And one of them is instantaneous, and one of them is premeditated. So the police are in possession of a video which is highly against the law, unless Stu comes out as a performer and says this was agreed upon. And you have no idea how far Stu would take that. Stu is clearly unconscious. In real life, he's unconscious, but is he going to come out and say that?
I wanted to ask you, I know you're close with Rampage Jackson, you guys are good friends. What was your immediate reaction to what his son his son did yesterday?
I was with him, stream that happened. He wasn't happy. You know, he's my friend, so I can't really overcome it. That Rampage was definitely not happy.
So you were Rampage when he saw the video, he was disappointed? Okay, cool. Well, hopefully they can get it all figured out and
he's
learning lessons.
I'm a father, he's a father. Obviously, he's very concerned with his son. He wants him to be right, but he's also very unhappy. So, I don't want to get anything in Rampage yet, but not happy. I mean, would you be happy?
No,
but he's also very concerned because he loves his son, so he's very concerned. So that's a tricky situation.
Well, prayers to everyone involved.
Yeah, exactly. I hope everything. Hope the guy ends up healthy. Hope his son ends up okay. It wasn't a good situation overall.
All right, thank you for your time, Jake.
It may have hurt as much.
What unfolded was a total breakdown of control in front of a live crowd. Yet, despite the backlash toward Raja, Joe Rogan has often spoken highly of his father, Rampage Jackson. On his podcast, Rogan has described Rampage as a powerhouse in the cage, fearless, explosive, and one of the most entertaining fighters in UFC history. He's praised Rampage's knockout strength, relentless aggression, and the larger-than-life personality that made him unforgettable in both the light heavyweight and heavyweight divisions. And this is where things get complicated. Some are now questioning whether Raja Jackson may have felt the burden of living in his father's shadow. Was he trying to mirror the same ferocity that made Rampage a legend? Growing up as the son of such a violent and respected MMA icon, many believe Raja might have carried the pressure to prove himself, and perhaps that pressure contributed to the moment he snapped. Regardless of the reasoning, the combat sports world isn't pulling punches in its criticism. Fans, fighters, and analysts alike are calling it one of the ugliest moments they've ever witnessed. Commentator MMA Guru even went so far as to say the outburst looked like an attempt to seriously harm the opponent, pointing out how Raja just wouldn't stop once he started swinging.